Howie Roseman just made the most important phone call of this entire offseason, and he made it to the division enemy. The Philadelphia Eagles did not sit back and wait on draft night. They went out and got their guy. And the message sent to the entire NFL by the move they made in the first round of the 2026 draft could not be any clearer. A.J. Brown's time in Philadelphia is over, and the Eagles already have his replacement locked in. But before I get into who that player is and what he brings to this offense, if you're a diehard Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now, because tonight's pick changed everything for this franchise going forward. Here is what went down. The Eagles were originally set to pick at number 23 overall. Instead, Howie Roseman picked up the phone, called the Dallas Cowboys, the division rival, and made a deal. Philadelphia traded picks number 23, 114, and 137 to Dallas in exchange for pick number 20 overall and a 2027 7th-round selection. The Cowboys used number 23 on UCF pass rusher Makai Lemon. And the Eagles, they walked to the podium and selected USC wide receiver Makai Lemon, winner of the 2025 Biletnikoff Award as the best receiver in all of college football. Let's pause on the Cowboys trade for a second, because it deserves its own moment. Roseman does not make trades with division rivals casually. Every pick you give to Dallas is a pick that helps a team competing directly against you for the NFC East title. The fact that he was willing to give away 2 fourth-round picks to move up just 3 spots tells you exactly how badly the Eagles wanted Lemon specifically, and how confident they are that this move, combined with everything else they have built at receiver this offseason, means they can afford to operate from a position of strength heading into June 1st. Ian Rapoport of NFL Network reported shortly after the pick that the Eagles were operating under the assumption that A.J. Brown will not be on the team next season. That is not speculation anymore. That is the organization sending a formal message to the rest of the league. Now let's talk about who Makai Lemon actually is, because this kid is a genuine problem for every defensive coordinator in the NFL. Lemon stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 192 pounds. He ran an unofficial 40-yard dash of 4.46 seconds at his USC Pro Day. He is not a burner in the traditional sense. He wins through technique, not raw speed. But what he does with the football, in his hands, and the precision he shows coming out of his breaks is elite. In 2025, he posted 79 receptions for 1,156 yards and 13 total touchdowns, 11 receiving, 2 rushing DUS and just in 12 games. That is over 96 receiving yards per game on average, leading all Power 4 conference receivers. PFF graded him as the highest-rated wide receiver in all of college football, with an overall grade of 90.4 and a receiving grade of 91.3. He earned unanimous first-team All-American honors, the first USC player to achieve that distinction since Caleb Williams in 2022. And when ESPN asked Lemon what the Eagles should expect from him, he kept it short and to the point. They're getting a dog. Ready to work, for real. I ain't doing no playing. Scouting reports on Lemon are as clean as it gets at this position. The Athletic's Nick Baumgardner and Scott Docterman gave the pick an A- grade and compared him to Amon-Ra St. Brown, a 2-time first-team All-Pro wide receiver. Let that comparison sit for a second. Lemon plays primarily out of the slot but has legitimate outside experience, giving him inside-out versatility that the Eagles specifically value. His hands are a weapon, a 2.8% career drop rate over his entire time at USC, and 10 receptions on 14 contested targets in 2025 alone. Those are not the numbers of a guy who flinches when the ball is in traffic. NFL Network analyst Lance Zierlein called him a plug-and-play, quarterback-friendly talent with first-round value and Pro Bowl upside. Howie Roseman himself put it plainly after the pick. He praised Lemon's ability to separate in man coverage out of the slot, noted his versatility to play outside when Devonta Smith works inside, highlighted his physicality, his hands, his zone instincts, and his ball carrier ability after the catch. Nick Sirianni echoed that, specifically calling out his insane ability to catch the ball in contested situations. Here's what makes this pick land differently than just a typical good first-round selection. Lemon is walking into the best possible development environment for a young receiver in the entire NFL. Devonta Smith, one of the most technically flawless route runners in the league, is going to be his teammate every single day at the Jefferson Health Training Complex. The man Lemon was on the phone with when the Eagles called, the Pittsburgh Steelers, missed out on exactly the kind of receiver who could have transformed their offense. Instead, Lemon gets to learn the position alongside an established Weather 1, who does not need the spotlight and has proven he can operate at the highest level in the biggest moments. That daily competition and mentorship is something money cannot buy for a 21-year-old receiver trying to figure out the NFL. Now let's connect the dots on the A.J. Brown situation, because Lemon's selection is the piece that ties this entire offseason together. The Eagles spent months methodically rebuilding the receiver room around the assumption that Brown would be gone. They signed Marquise Brown for deep speed. They traded for Dontavian Wicks out of Green Bay and extended him. They signed Elijah Moore, and now they drafted Makai Lemon at number 20 with the pick originally designated for the top of the second round. Every single one of those moves was made with the post-Brown era in mind. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network said it plainly after the pick: the Eagles have now added Hollywood Brown, Wicks, Moore, and Lemon, and that is the latest sign that A.J. Brown has probably played his last down in Philadelphia. You do not reshape a receiver room this aggressively if you are planning to keep the old number 1. What this also signals is that Roseman is not in any rush to accept a bad deal from the Patriots. The Eagles are not desperate. With Lemon now on the roster on a 4-year rookie contract, Devonta Smith locked in as the alpha, and Wicks handling the dirty work in the running game, the receiving corps is legitimately strong right now without A.J. Brown on it. That stability is leverage. Every day that passes between now and June 1st is another day the New England Patriots have to sit in the uncertainty of the Mike Vrabel situation, figure out how serious they really are about acquiring a 29-year-old receiver with chronic knee issues, and decide whether they are willing to pay first-round pick money for him. Roseman can walk into those negotiations in June with zero urgency, and that is exactly where you want to be when you are the one selling. The financial picture is also worth understanding in full. By waiting until after June 1st to complete the Brown trade, the Eagles reduced the dead cap hit from $43.3 million all the way down to $16.3 million. The difference is nearly $27 million, staying in their cap space. That money, combined with the future draft capital coming back from whichever team acquires Brown, sets Philadelphia up to be extremely active heading into the 2027 and 2028 offseasons. And with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean both due for contract extensions in the next 2 years, having that financial and draft capital flexibility is not a small thing. It is the difference between staying elite and becoming a team that has to make painful sacrifices just to keep its roster together. Taking a step back, what Roseman did on Thursday night in Pittsburgh is a masterclass in how to manage a roster transition without losing a step. He did not panic when Brown's situation soared. He did not overpay in free agency for a replacement. He did not surrender a king's ransom in the trade market. He identified the exact player he wanted, made a calculated trade with a division rival to move up and get him, and now heads into the month of June with all the negotiating power in the world on the Brown deal. 2026 is already shaping up to be a fascinating transition year for this franchise. New offensive coordinator, Jalen Hurts, playing for his future, and now a brand new receiving dynamic built around Smith and Lemon that no one in the NFC was expecting at this price. With Makai Lemon in green and white, A.J. Brown almost certainly on his way to New England after June 1st, and Howie Roseman holding all the cards in this trade negotiation, the question I need your take on is this: do you think Lemon can eventually grow into a true WR1 in this offense? Or is he always going to be a complementary piece alongside Devonta Smith? And was trading with the Cowboys worth it to move up for him? Drop your answer in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later with all the latest Eagles news.